Business Committee will come to order. First, I want to thank Senator Paul and his staff, working with our staff so that we could move forward with 4 bills today with bipartisan input and support. So today we will be reporting out 4 bills that address several critical areas affecting America's 30 million small businesses. I also want to thank Senator Paul for working together to postpone the consideration of S-2162 that was originally noted for today's markup. That is the SBA Franchise Loan Default Disclosure Act. We will consider that at a future date. I want to thank Senator Cortez Masto for her hard work on this bill, and I look forward to further bipartisan discussions with the ranking member and the members of this committee so that we can reach a bipartisan compromise and move that legislation forward. The bills we'll be considering today, first is S-1687, the Small Business Cyber Training Act, which was introduced by Senator Rubio and Senator Shaheen. As ransomware and other cyber attacks become more prevalent, Congress must expand access to cybersecurity resources for small businesses. They clearly just do not have the type of resources to handle this without some additional support from the SBA. This bill will certify Small Business Development Center counselors to help small business owners identify their cybersecurity vulnerabilities and fortify defenses against cyber threats. The second bill we'll consider is S-3564, the Veterans Entrepreneurship Training Act, introduced by Senator Duckworth and Senator Ernst. This bipartisan bill will formally authorize the Boots to Business program for 5 years and codify the goals and requirements of the program. As we all know, the training veterans receive in the armed services translates very well for entrepreneurship. That is why the Department of Defense includes the Boots to Business program as a resource in its transition assistance program for service members at the end of their military careers. Boots to Business gives veterans, transitioning service members, and their spouses the opportunity to learn about business ownership and transfer the skills they learn in the military to the private sector. And the third bill we'll consider is S-3595, the One-Stop Shop for Small Business Compliance Act, introduced by Senator Cornyn and Senator Shaheen. Owning and operating a small business is a round-the-clock job, so this bill makes it easier for small businesses to comply with federal regulations by requiring the SBA to maintain a centralized website where entrepreneurs can access regulatory compliance guidelines for federal agencies. I know we've all heard from our small businesses the need to simplify the way that they can access compliance with regulations. And the final bill is S-3906, the Small Business Broadband and Emerging Information Technology Enhancement Act, which was introduced by Senator Shaheen and Senator Kennedy. This message is especially important for small businesses in rural communities. During the pandemic, many small businesses transitioned to delivery, curbside pickup, online sales, and other innovative models to make up the loss of in-person customers. These changes in customer expectation have only made access to affordable broadband internet more important to the success of business. This bill will leverage SBA's existing resources to train small business owners on how best to integrate broadband internet and other emerging technologies into their businesses. Once again, small businesses do not have this type of capacity. We need to help them. So I want to thank all the colleagues that were involved in the development of all 4 of these bills. This does not happen in vacuum. We know that it's hard work that we were able to get here. I thank you for your cooperation, and I look forward to the markup. And with that, let me turn it over to Senator Paul.
Across the country, small businesses are struggling. Empty shelves, record levels of inflation, and gas prices approaching $5 a gallon are predictable results of massive government spending and intervention in the economy. Recent government actions provide a textbook example of how to tank an economy and cause financial pain for workers, families, and businesses. Ineffective lockdowns make it all but impossible for most small businesses to operate. And in a rush to kill the pain government inflicted, Congress did what it always does: spend monstrous amounts of taxpayer money with little accountability. It should surprise absolutely no one that billions of dollars were lost to waste, fraud, and abuse. Taxpayers lost $80 billion to fraud from the Paycheck Protection Program alone. Dollars that were supposed to be spent keeping people in their jobs were stolen and used to buy luxury cars and mansions. Estimates suggest international fraudsters stole half the $900 billion in unemployment. Congress opened the doors to the Treasury with nary a night watchman, and now the pain of inflation is felt every time you fill up your tank or try to feed your family. Those who drive the engines of our economy, the small business owners, consistently tell us that what keeps them up at night is the constant deterioration of our economy. According to Job Creators Network, 42% of small businesses say inflation is their biggest concern. Another 28% say their biggest concern is operating costs. No wonder just 27% of small businesses owners think the economy is doing well. Yet if you look at the list of bills under consideration today, you would get the feeling that Congress is deliberately ignoring these concerns. Instead of helping businesses, we are considering bills that simply grow the federal bureaucracy. Today, we have a bill on the agenda to create an SBA official whose job would be to teach SBA employees how to tell small business owners about the internet. American small business owners don't need bureaucrats to micromanage their operations. What they need is a government that allows free enterprise to work. What they deserve is a government that gets out of the way and lets them do what they do best. Fortunately, we do have a couple of bills today who I think do address and go in the right direction. We'll be voting today on Senator Rubio's cybersecurity bill. This is a bill that would help small businesses avoid cybersecurity threats. Senator Cornyn worked with Senator Shaheen to develop a bill to help small business owners navigate the burdensome and onerous regulations of government. I think these bills are well intended and are something that will be good for the country. I commend them for their work. Hopefully this legislation is a first step towards repealing many of the costly and unnecessary regulations to which small business owners are subjected.
I was told we had a quorum, but two of our members have walked out, so we're just trying to see whether they're coming back so we can take action.
I make a motion that we send the sergeant at arms. Just kidding.
No, I understand. The person who can enforce we have Senator Booker and Senator Kennedy, I think, are strong enough to act as our sergeant of arms. So we have two members here that could handle it. We've tried to get Senator Coons back. We're back. Okay. And we now have 11. We have a quorum. It's the chair's intention that we will take three bills up in a package. We've worked this out with Senator Paul. One of the bills in the three are going to be amended. We'll then vote on those three in block. I believe we can do a voice vote on that. The fourth bill is going to be subject to a roll call vote, as I understand it. So the first bill, first I would ask consent that members wishing to insert statements into record be permitted to do so without objection. We're now going to consider first S3906, the Small Business Broadband and Emerging Information Technology Enhancement Act. We've reached a bipartisan agreement to strike the authorization of appropriation text from the bill before considering it as modified as part of the manager's package. I ask unanimous consent that S3906, as distributed to all members of the committee, be modified to strike the authorization of appropriation language in lines 11 through 13 on page 6. Is there any objection? Without objection, so ordered. Next, we will consider the manager's package, which contains the following legislation that has been distributed to all members of the committee. S1687, the Small Business Cyber Training Act of 2021, as amended by a Cardin substitute amendment. The S3595, the One-Stop Shop for Small Business Compliance Act. S3906, the Small Business Broadband and Emerging Information Technology Enhancement Act, as modified by unanimous consent during this meeting. Does any senator wish to be recognized in regards to these three bills? If there's no debate, the committee will vote on reporting the manager's package containing the three pieces of legislation in block. So the motion is to report them favorably. Do I have such a motion? Second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The three bills will be reported favorably.
If you want to do it by voice, I'll just record myself as a no. Everybody else is a yes.
All right, I understand we can do the last bill also by voice. We'll now consider 3564, the Veterans Enterprise-ship Training Act. We will consider amendments to the legislation in consultation with the ranking member and Senator Duckworth, Senator Ernst. We will consider the Paul Amendment number 4 and the Paul Amendment number 5 and the Cardin Amendment number 1 in block. These are ones that have been agreed to in a bipartisan manner. And thank you to Senator Duckworth for her cooperation on this legislation. All in favor of those three amendments, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Can I just be recorded as a no?
The question now is the adoption favorable, do I have a motion to favorably report the legislation as amended? A second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Senator Paul voting in the negative, but the ayes appear to have it. The ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. I would then ask unanimous consent that with respect to the legislation reported today, that the Quorum rule be waived and the committee staff be authorized to make technical and conforming changes to the bill as amended. Any objection? Without objection, so ordered. There being no further business, the committee stands adjourned. I thank our members very much.